says this: in a world where we have too many choices and too little time, the obvious thing to do is just ignore stuff. As I was watching that again recently, I thought that's really the case when we talk about technology in our classroom or technology in our schools. There's so much out there, you can get so overwhelmed that you just go, you know, I'm just going to do the way I've always known how to do it. But to me, technology plus education equals magic. And so I grew up doing magic. I'm not talking Magic, the card game where you get dressed up and bring your swords and all that. I'm talking sleight of hand magic. So I'm going to use magic today to illustrate some of the principles that I've found that might make you more successful in integrating technology into your schools. The place that I see that Laura desires to go to more than anything at this given point, even this class, is Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu. No, that looks right. So there you go. There's the power of desire. Before you put technology in your classroom or your school, you got to have a desire to use it. Otherwise, it's just going to sit on the shelf. This presentation, she said, you know, that teacher just diving into it and using technology for everything, that's usually not going to be a very successful strategy, and I really agree with that. And my suggestion is change one thing. Change one thing on one day, one assignment for one class for one short period of time using one technology, whatever it might be. Keep it really simple. Use one thing and don't overwhelm yourself. So I made a prediction earlier, about a week ago, when I was kind of putting this together, and I thought, okay, what would an elementary administrator pick and put on their card? And your card will appear here on this card. Are you ready? Do you see your card? No, I'm just kidding. I do that one for the cheap laughs. Thanks. You guys have been very gracious. Spread these out in here. Oh, there's two cards right there. Oh, I didn't see two cards there. Actually, down here. I see two. Oh, one's flipped over. Happens to be the 7 of spades. I'm off the hook. My wife's off the hook. But pretty good. Pretty good. You're saying my wife. You do know what just happened, right? Because my wife made a prediction. I'll pass that along. You say you're pretty good. But really, you're like, what's the point here? What does this have to do with integrating technology into the classroom? Who cares? Yeah. I'm just going to remember he picked the 7 of spades or whatever it was. Yeah, surveys come. There's not one for magic ability. So what do you have to learn from this? And technology doesn't always go the way it's planned, right? Your card didn't appear there when it was supposed to. I didn't point to it right. It didn't happen to be the one that was excluding the insurance policy. I had an out. In magic, it's called having an out, right? You've got a backup plan ready to go. I've walked into classrooms before where the teacher has kind of given up teaching because they're waiting for that technology to kind of get fixed, or they run into an issue that they didn't anticipate. And so they lost their chance to teach. You learn the technology, learn something about that technology. You build a lesson, you change one thing, put in a backup plan, build that, and then you go deliver it. But before you do that, you're saying, how am I going to know I'm going to be successful using this? I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated metrics. You do it. Yeah, you could say, yeah, we're improving grades, we're improving test scores, whatever it might be. But maybe it's something more qualitative, right? So maybe the students are more engaged. That student that's sitting across the room that never talks before starts engaging a lot more. He starts speaking his language when you start using technology. Maybe that's the type of feedback you're getting. Or the kids walk in the door and they say, hey, Mr. Henderson, are we going to use that today? Are we going to use those today? That's when you know it's starting to work, right? But that is your card. Hopefully that's giving you something to chew on. Here's some M&Ms for you. Don't eat the cards inside. That insurance policy doesn't cover that. So